Well, there it is. Hello there, welcome to a replay being casted by myself and the amazing ChronicLackofCare. How are you doing today, ChronicLackofCare?
Fantastic. I'm so glad that I got the opportunity to cast this replay with you. Just to promote the channel a little bit, and I've noticed that that there's a severe shortage of Warcraft 3 casters out there, so I figured I might as well do something that I enjoy.
That's it. If you love it, get on it. That's what I say. So what are we looking at today? We're going to be looking at Yumiko, dude what likes his towers.
Yeah.
Versus, wait for it, foe? How did you say it?
Well, I don't know. It has some meaning, but I just call.
Are
him
you worried
Two.
about losing your credit? Go ahead.
I'm just calling him Two. I know that people will rage and shout and say that that's improper and whatnot, but yeah, I just can't pronounce the Chinese version of his name, so forgive me for that.
You are forgiven. You are forgiven. Everyone else will forgive us. It's okay. Though I'm sure it's the internet. People let little things like that go. They don't get all antsy about little tiny things, do they, on the internet?
Right.
Never happens.
I can see the shouting in the comments already. The rage.
I'll tell you what. We'll cover our backs, all right. So it's either foe, which is what I'm probably going to end up calling him all game, because that's what I see. Free eggs, which you explained to me earlier, which is why he has the free zeros. The free eggs. Like, say what you said to me earlier about the
it has some meaning in Chinese, in Mandarin language, but I just can't get into it. There is one caster that knows how to do it, Crota, but if you want to hear his real name, go over to that channel. But here, you're just gonna hear 2, 3 eggs, or the human guy.
That's right. Sandan as well. Sandan. There we go. We got that off our chests. That
can work as well. Anyway, the game seems to have started while we had this discussion. We have a bit of an early creeping call to militia, and straight away, Mountain King first, so we don't see an Archmage or anything standard like that. And what do you think of this forward tower placement here? Usually it goes a bit in the back.
I say he's a cocky guy. Do you know what I mean? He just likes to get up on people's faces, even in his own base. So that's going to say... I mean, the tower placement there should be far... I don't know. Unless the Death Knight, or, yeah, he's Death Knight, hugs the left corner when going round that human base, he will pretty much get always hit by that arcane tower. So it is definitely good placement, providing he can keep it alive.
Right. And over here in Toe's base...
Oh, sorry. That's the one you meant, was it?
Right.
I was gonna say, I was like, hang on a sec, Foe's got a pretty interesting tower placement as well. Oh, I see. Right.
Usually he is the human guy, but this matchup he just opted to go for the undead.
Can I settle for both of them? I like them both.
Yeah, sure, why not? I don't know, I guess human mirrors are just a bit boring, and that's kind of a taboo subject in Asia, so nobody wants to play them.
Well, this is definitely very interesting because I've not actually seen this before. I'm aware of using these to creep because I've done things like that similar in my 4 vs 4 RTs where I'll build burrows and stuff like that to creep just for lols. But yeah, this map clearly allows that sort of play to work. I mean, look at this.
Well, just 4 versus 4 is a bit different because in 101 you can do this, but in 4 versus 4 if you got creep jabbed, like 4 heroes doing this would be a pretty bad loss for you. I mean, you just lose all of your militia here.
It's really nice from both players so far. I mean, there's an expansion already crept up. Looks like he's going for a tower. Has he got the resources to actually... Oh, he has. But it does look like he's going to be spotted very shortly by a nasty skeleton warrior. So that's good scouting from...
I was expecting completely different gameplay from 2 because he went for crypt first, and usually you go for a graveyard. So I was expecting like a good amount of ghouls or something like that, which the undead players seem to be doing these days, but no, he just seems to be going for fiends and creeping, giving time to Yumiko, which is a bad idea because this expansion is going to kick into play very soon.
That's right, but I wonder if it's because he's thinking more like the mid-game onwards, because one thing with the fiends is I think of them as like little siege machines to a degree. Range siege is the closest undead has to it. In fact, it's practically better than meat wagons. When they get all sat in position and they go and do their thing with their folly attacks, they can do tons of damage to even towers. So I think maybe he's played against Yumiko once or twice before and he's familiar with his playstyle, so he's thinking Fiends is the best thing to open up with.
Well, he just lost one to a Stormbolt and a Surround.
Yeah, that was a bit rough, but hey, he's building more fiends, so he's alright.
I've seen Yumiko do this with Mountain King first, and he doesn't get another hero until this Mountain King reaches level 5, or at least is very close to it, and later on just goes for a Blood Mage and uses a mana battery. Not sure if he's going to do that in this game though, but these fiends from that Stormbolt are just going to take a beating. I mean, if he doesn't have enough of them, or if he doesn't do a push soon enough, he's just not going to be able to break this at all.
Yeah, it's definitely very tough to deal with as undead Stormbolt early on in the game, because it basically counters all of the sort of like the harass plays that undead try to use in one-on-one situations. It's just like a Stormbolt, flat stun, tons of damage, and also extra damage from the units. Makes it a bit tricky.
Yeah, it gives an opportunity to surround, but I see 2 doing one of 2 things. Either he's gonna go for a tier 2 push with meat wagons, or he's gonna be patient and go for a destroyer push. But either way, this expansion is going to be pressured at a certain point of time in this game. All the human undead matchups have developed in such a way. Just a bit boring because it's a bit predictable, but these 2 players are kind of pros, so... Well, not kind of pros, they are pros. The best players in the world.
Yeah.
So a lot of things could happen there.
Definitely seeing the pressure from those Stormbolts already.
Yeah,
it's like
he's just losing units left and right.
I saw you had some
making
units.
Yumiko pay for it though.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, those peasants and all that have to constantly bring out the militia and stuff like that. Does actually hurt the economy as well. And these fiends, you don't really want to lose them early on though, because they take quite a while to build. I'm not sure exactly what the time limit is on them. Probably about 45 seconds, something like that. Yeah, it's definitely a lot longer than a ghoul or a footman or a grunt.
And look at this, he just gave that Mountain King level 4.
Yeah, so early. Level 4 already. He's done the right creeping pattern and he's had successful skirmishes.
What, we are in the 7th minute of the game, we have a level 4 Mountain King, although he's playing just with 3 footmen. And with 3 footmen and a Mountain King, he's managing to defeat an army of fiends.
Don't underestimate the Mountain King. That's what we're going to learn from this.
The OP Stormbolt. I swear to God, people have been whining on the forums for so long about that Stormbolt.
I whine about it all the time.
Nothing about it.
I even have to say its name 3 times. That's how big a deal it is. It is the Stormbolt.
What do you make of this? There's a forward shop placement between the 2 bases. Like, why would he put it there? Usually it goes at the expansion, and maybe sometimes, but very rarely, in the front of the base.
It's a path that he can run between, so that's what I'm thinking. If you think where his heroes come out from the altar as well, sort of like a way to just sort of access from main base to that without the fiends being able to comfortably attack it. So putting it there is a bit tricky, because if the fiends go that close to that arcane vault, they're kind of committed, and they're going to be close to the main base or sort of boxed in from the expansion.
Yeah, it seems to be going for the main base, and that tower is taking up a beating, but surprisingly it actually stays alive, probably due to the low amount of fiends that he has. But now we see a Lich, and the first spell is actually Frost Armor, not Nova. How will this play out? All these units are getting slowed from that Frost Armor. This is looking bad, but that Fiend got surrounded, and he looks like he's just gonna keep leveling this Mountain King from the undead units.
Yeah, he's getting good experience, that's for sure, and he's got plenty more Stormbolts, at least one more, after all these other Stormbolts he's been chucking left, right and centre.
Yeah, those Death Coils don't seem to be doing the proper job. I mean, they don't seem to be helping too at all. I mean, he's gonna lose his last Fiend here.
Yeah, this is fantastic play so far from Yumiko.
He's surrounded, and the footmen have been upgraded to repel that range damage. But he chooses to TP out. I suppose he had nothing else to take down. He was facing a fight against a Lich and a DK, and at that point of time, you can just lose units while they retreat.
I agree. I guess that's his reasoning for it. I wouldn't have chosen that path, but he's a much better player than me, so I have to respect his reason for using that teleport. Is to say 350 gold, yeah, that's gone, but that gets me out of this, and I don't get Frost Nova'd. I don't lose units as I'm trying to run away. So I guess that's his motivation for it. Not to mention it can bring him back to the nearest creep point, which is he teleported to his expansion, didn't he? And now he's creeping already. So that there's also motivation there.
Gives him a good opportunity to hire some mercs there, especially to do some piercing damage, extra focus on those fiends. That's going to be painful a bit later on. And 2 seems to be opting for statues, eventually going into those. No, we're not going to see any destroyers. At least I don't think so. Meat wagons coming into place. This is going to be a full-out siege onto the expansion as far as I can see.
I told him earlier, all he needs is fiends. Just more fiends. Siege it down with the fiends. Look at this. Ready? They're going to go. Look at that damage. Oh, wow. Look at that. They just one-shot that shop. So why the hell are you getting meat wagons when fiends can just one-shot things?
Because I don't think that you can actually take down the keep with just fiends. He can repair through the damage. But if you have 3 siege engines, there's no way he can repair through it, especially with the Nova coming into place.
I like how both these players are going at the moment. You're seeing lots of weird stuff right now, like the meat wagons and this goblin zeppelin as well. That's lovely play. Meanwhile, you can see Yumiko's being pretty cocky, going straight into the undead base. He's like, yeah, you got meat wagons on my expansion. I'm just going to take your base.
He doesn't seem to care about it at all.
No, he doesn't. He's really confident in his peasant's abilities, so he's a gracious king.
Yeah, I would love to see some Zeppelin micro in this game. I mean, these players, they have an APM, 460 actions per minute. So why not hire a Zeppelin? You can put units in and out. I honestly couldn't physically press 460 buttons in a minute, nonetheless do 460 calculated moves.
I enjoy doing the Zeppelin play, but I couldn't do it to the level that these two do. No chance. So if you've got the capabilities and throw it in there, why not? But it is definitely a lot of hard work and tricky to pull off. You need the extra hotkey for it as well.
And look at this, these two footmen now just harassing these meat wagons. He can't take them down because of that Zeppelin, but he just saved his expansion from that pressure, from that damage. He no longer needs to repair. Well, at least not for a time being.
No, that's it. Every little helps at this stage. So little touches like that is going to buy him a lot of time, save him extra resources. That's extra time that those peasants aren't spending on basically repairing non-stop. And there's a lot of them doing it.
Yeah, it puts a lot of drain on the resources, but I do see those shops coming into play at a certain point of time. I think that's the only thing that can save him here, but we shall see. There are no destroyers, so casters are still a possibility in this game, although an unlikely one as far as I can see anyway.
See, Yumiko is about to engage here with a ton of militia alongside some nice mercs.
Push.
Yeah, they just need to go the right direction. They got a bit lost there.
Yeah,
come on, guys.
The two are sitting here in the woods wondering where the fight is.
Oh, lovely. I love it. The Zeppelin play. There you go.
DK almost got surrounded, but healing scroll coming in, rejuvenating pretty much everybody, losing a fiend there. And he's gonna lose yet. No, the fiend gets death coiled.
Unless he can pick it up again, but then again that Zeppelin's gonna get taken out. He's not gonna let him get away with that.
This is bad.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really matter if Yumiko doesn't win this fight. She has achieved his objective. I mean, he has destroyed a meat wagon, killed a considerable amount of fiends, and the pressure on that expansion is no longer a viable option. It's not going to be a strong enough pressure to make it go down or anything of a kind, even though it's damaged pretty badly.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it, really. I mean, it was a bit of a sacrifice taking that many peasants and turning them into militia and just going all out. But, like you say, the pressure has been relieved, and it does look like foe is heading back.
And Yumiko now placing a Griffin Aviary, 2 of them in fact. So he's making a pretty strong commitment to the strategy. I wonder what he's gonna get. Griffins, but what are you gonna do against all these fiends? You need to really outnumber them, else they're just gonna go down to web. What do you make of it?
I'd say he's gonna be leaning towards, well, this is a guess, but you'd think he'd be leaning towards, well, there'd be hawks to start off with. But you wonder if you go into, say, knights and griffins for later on, because knights will counter the fiends, and the griffins will just do pretty much solid damage overall.
I was thinking, like, that he's not gonna get griffins, that he's gonna get the raiders and what are they called? I just kind of lost it there.
The Horks, Dragon Hawk Riders.
You're right, the Dragon Hawk Riders, but there are no destroyers in the play, so there's really no need to get them. I mean, what would they hit?
He's able to see into the future, I think. That's what it is.
Right. But in any case, the first red creep camp, it goes to 2, and he gets a rune braces, an item which I think is more suited for our human player here to counter that Nova Coil combo.
I thought he got Legion Doom Horn. I can never say that one right.
Right.
I'm not sure if he picked up the rune braces earlier, unless that was the Mountain King.
Missed that then, but he doesn't really need the Legion Doomhorn. He can sell that, no problems. And he sells the anti-magic, the rune braces as well. Lots of gold, because Death Knight already has that aura. Mountain King coming in, probably gonna do a snipe on those acolytes. Maybe, maybe not. No, he's retreating. He's gonna go here and go for a creep jack, it would seem.
Yeah, this is lovely invisibility play. By the way, I just want to say a quick FU to Buzzeye Mark Anthony, who always has a go at me for selling runed and the rune braces, basically. That sort of like reduce the magic damage taken. He's versus a Mountain King that has level 3 Stormbolt, and he still sells those. So these guys are pros. So that's all I'm saying. Stormbolt,
Well,
Stormbolt, Stormbolt.
And here we go. The acolytes are now taking a damage, but he's only able to take down one before he's slowed. And now the Shredder is gonna go down. Oh no, he had
Double
no
bash.
reason of whatsoever to send him there versus that Mountain King.
I'll tell you, that Shredder's done alright so far this game. He bought him quite early on just to help with his harass, and he kept frosting over it, not frosting over it, putting frost armor on it, and it was pretty productive. He actually gets to keep the Shredder though. Look.
Keeps the Shredder alive, but
Yeah, the
loses two
acolytes.
acolytes.
As long as you got a Shredder, that's all you need.
Yeah, but as an undead, you have those ghouls, and they can harvest a ton load of lumber. But meanwhile, we have a siege of the main base of Yumiko, and these towers are taking a real hard beating here.
Yeah. Take that, towers. That'll teach you to build towers human.
Yeah, we do have Dragonhawks coming in, but I have a feeling that those two Dragonhawks are not going to do much versus two destroyers with mana.
No, they're pretty measly at the moment in this stage of the game. They've got pretty pathetic DPS, but hey, he can always build up on them as long as he's careful with his micro.
I don't think that Yumiko cares. He just went for a surround and the DK in a combination with Stormbolt and just forced the TP out of him, even though he had a much stronger army. He had to leave.
It's so hard to fight versus Stormbolt. Actually, you'd think that maybe an investment into Banshees, which we're about to see actually. Banshee Adept training is being taken for the anti-magic shell.
Can you not spell that with priests?
I don't think you can. No, I don't think you can. I'm pretty sure I did a test on this a while ago and I've forgotten the results, but I think it's virtually undispellable by like everything. There's possibly one thing and I can't remember what it is, so it might well be priests. It might well be priests.
Maybe.
They might be the only ones that can do it.
I'm not really sure. I've never tested this out.
But all the other races like Purge and all of that stuff
works.
Yeah, no, I tried all of them and only one worked, and the annoying thing is I can't remember which one it is, so it could be any of them basically. We'll find out later on if we do see priests, which we do. There is one little priest following around Kalfas. He's like, my lord.
We do not see an attempt to produce any sort of casters on the part of the undead, especially not banshees. Actually we do. He is getting banshees.
Yeah.
I'm blind.
No, that's alright. He's working his way through it. He's not exactly got many right now. I think he's not even got any. So he's gone straight for the Adept training and he's working his way to the Banshees. I'm sure they're going to be quite a key component.
I guess we'll actually be able to find out this in this game. But meanwhile, Mountain King just going and harassing those acolytes non-stop, just not letting him mine. Let's just see the mining difference. We have 2.2k here. Actually, yeah, just 100 gold with all that harassment. I mean,
It's
if
not
you
bad.
think about it, he could have done. I mean, look, he's not mining. This is the second time in the game that he's not mining, and there's only about 100 gold difference between them.
Yeah, I mean the Shredder as well. Look at him. He's doing his bit for the undead. He's just going to... I wonder how long he's going to stay in this game for. He's just going to be like the hero.
Survivor.
The last thing left. That's what it's going to be.
Go down.
Well, there's a lot of Dragonhawks, by the way. He's certainly built up on those two he had earlier. Looks like 8 to me.
This DK has such unlucky drops. I mean, once again, he has a Legion Unicorn. He just has to sell it. There's nothing that he can do with it.
Did he sell the rune braces, actually? Because
Yeah,
I see the
he
Lich
sold
with
it.
it. I see the
He sold
Lich.
it. As you said,
Please tell me he did. Please tell me he did. Otherwise, I'm going to be looking bad.
No, he did. He did sell it. I mean, but you would think that he would actually keep them versus the Mountain King.
So do you think the Lich picked one up? Because he's got it on the Lich.
Oh, okay then.
We'll
I
say
just
the
thought-
Lich found it whilst creeping. That's what we'll say, okay?
Yeah, agreed.
That definitely happened, yeah?
Yep. Good thing that this thing doesn't have a replay, that you cannot rewind the replay backwards.
No, that's right. Whatever we say goes. It's as simple as that. Oh, look,
Right.
look. Griffin Avery. Top left. What's it researching?
It's It's going for the Storm Hammers, but I do not know why. If he upgrades those Storm Hammers, he's not going to be able to hit anything that Banshee's shield. I mean, he will, but at a significant reduction of damage.
I guess Yumiko's that confident. Maybe he's such a noob that he thinks Storm Hammers works on his Mountain King.
Right.
He sees a big hammer, it's got lightning over it. Maybe he thinks it gives his, Storm Bolt ability in his Mountain King some sort of lightning effect.
Right. After that Banshee goes down to a banished bolt combo.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Feeling that these fiends, this one Banshee, this is all gonna go down to a banished bolt combo.
Ooh,
no damage there. It all went to the shield, pretty much.
That's it. This is why the Banshees are pretty darn vital in this. If you're going to be dealing with a level 5 Mountain King, you're going to want some shields on.
And I wonder, what did the Blood Mage take? Did he take Banish level 2, or did he go for Mana Siphon level 2? Either one is a viable option, but yeah, there you go. Another Fiend goes down. You can't do anything about it. But Dark Ranger comes in, most likely for that Silence ability.
Yep. That's a typical third hero for Undead here, we're seeing. Death Knight, Lich and Dark Ranger, very powerful. The silence is incredibly useful, especially in a later game scenario when everything counts. And it does look like it might be going that way. Mountain King almost level 6 though, he's not far off it, is he? A couple more kills.
He just needs a couple more kills, but I'm more worried about that Dark Ranger. When this Paladin reaches level 3, it's going to be Holy Light level 2, Stormbolt level 3, and the Banish. That's going to be a one-shot if he doesn't dead coil in time.
Yeah, this is lovely play from Yumiko right now. It just makes me want to go and try this, just looking at this. You know what I mean? These just look so good. Especially that Staff of Sanctuary action earlier he was thrown in there. It's a lovely way to sort of deny experience and save a unit at the same time.
No, I could never do this sort of gameplay, because he has like, over 400 APM.
Practice. It's just practice, mate. That's all it is. Just play a couple of games a day, and you'll get
the hang of it.
Yeah.
And after countless won tournaments.
Yeah. You can always move into a gaming house and play like 24/7.
Oh
Wake up,
God!
play.
I already spent 24 hours at my computer. No way.
Yeah, that's always the problem, isn't it, with a computer job?
Yeah, I think my eyes are basically begging me to stop, but the money coming in, no way.
There's level 4 Blood Mage, so it doesn't matter anymore. He's got level 2 Banish and level 2.
Yeah, but he's taking a bit of damage. He's now silenced. He used that Invuln Pod, and he's able to run away. That Paladin, though, he's just level 1. He really needs that level 2 for that Divine Shield, so he can no longer be focused down as easily.
Yeah, it's definitely scary when you bring out a third hero that's level 1 into these kind of plays when you're facing against like a level 5 Death Knight, level 4 Lich. Can be picked off very quickly.
It looks like Yumiko is setting up for an expansion here, but he's not placing anything. Does he have enough resources? Yes, he does. He even has the peasants here. They're just in a militia form. I have a feeling as soon as this militia thing runs out, he's going to place yet another expansion here, but 2 way ahead of him. He has an expansion, and how often do you see an undead with an expansion in a pro 1v1 matchup?
Not very often, I'll say that much. He's taken a long time to get it, but that's the deal, is he has to keep the pressure on the human, and the human's just consistently able to keep that expansion while surviving the pressure. But then again, that human is Yumiko, so that's how it goes.
I've seen Yumiko games where he loses so many peasants, so many militia, and the timing on the expansion is still the same. There's no change.
Yeah, all in. By the way, that was a nice little split there for the Death Knight to get out whilst getting a lot of kills on the militia surrounding him. Right, so this is good feed experience.
Health and these things, but now the Lich is in danger of going down. He gets death coiled in time.
Yeah, just in time. Thanks to those rune braces that we slagged off earlier.
Right. I mean, how could we discredit them so fast? How could we just delete them from the game?
Well, we saw him sell them earlier, so he would have done that for good reason. He just picked another one up and has forgotten to sell them since. That's all that is. So that's what that is.
With this undead expansion, I mean, I'm really surprised that he didn't place any Halls of the Dead or anything like that, because now he does not have the ability to TP to it. He has to maintain constant pressure, otherwise this expansion is just going to get harassed.
I like that he split his 2 heroes away. the level 5 heroes, so you start ranging and gain the experience, because at level 5, for those that don't know, you cannot get experience anymore from creeps, so this is going to speed up the Dark Ranger's ability to power her way through to level 3 and onwards.
Yeah, but that leveling on that ranger just means that she'll be harder to take down. Her main purpose in this game is just that silence, that is all. If she can cast as much of it as possible and at the right timing, this game is going to go in favor of 2.
Yeah, it seems that way. How's that paladin getting on? Still level 1?
Yeah.
He's a wannabe level 2.
2.
Yeah. What's he going to have to do?
He does have... he only has 3 Dragonhawk riders. That's not going to do much versus 4 destroyers, download of Banshees, of Fiend. Like, what is the food count for 2 anyway? He's in low upkeep, 70 out of 70. And for Yumiko, he's 56 over 96. Those workshops coming into play, I can see choppers coming in here. They're going to do so much good for him if he manages to get them out. Those destroyers are just going to melt.
So you're saying he's got to get to the chopper?
Yeah, get to the chopper.
That's actually spot on. You weren't even trying too hard there. That was like a natural one.
I have a German guy in my class who just keeps repeating that over and over again.
So you've learned from him. He's taught you the ways.
No, he's even a bodybuilder. I mean, it's like...
Well, he's got more reason than anyone to say it then, if that's the case.
Right, you should... Oh, God.
Got this poor Dragonhawk being beaten up by destroyers, and they're now in a comfortable spot just to keep harassing that expansion whilst Yumiko doesn't really have many answers.
Peasants are just taking a beating, and there's an extra peasant there mining, but Yumiko at this point of time just doesn't have anything to deal with these destroyers. It's so fortunate that they don't have mana here, otherwise this entire gold line would just go down.
He's doing a little bit of harass at the moment at the undead expansion, but he's going to have to back off here in a moment when foes. Sandan's 3 eggs, Eggy Boy, is about to turn up and throw him away. Gloves of haste, by the way, there. Just chilling out.
Well, pro gamers, they're known to leaving items behind.
See? That's my excuse.
Yeah. You can just take them as an example. Although you can take a grubby as an example for losing a hero to creeps and still winning the game.
I did that, but I didn't win the game.
Yeah.
So I'm not quite on that level yet.
And he didn't lose it in like some irrelevant match. He lost it in front of a massive audience. Nobody could believe what was happening, but he still managed to win it somehow.
Do you think he did that deliberately just to make himself look even better?
No way. He almost lost that game. There's no way you can frame that.
Wow.
And the Shredder, the fate of the Shredder is now the life of the Shredder is now at an end.
What?
Finally.
I missed it. What? Did it die?
At the bottom, he just died.
Oh no. The Griffins must have got it.
Yes, the 2 Griffins just...
Is that why he bought the Griffins? Just so he could kill the Shredder?
And we don't have flying machines, we instead have tanks, and the tanks are going to take down the second expansion attempt for the undead.
Yeah, they're so good, tanks.
Yeah.
Most overpowered unit in the game.
When in doubt, pop tanks.
That's right. Especially versus undead, because they just don't have many answers to it.
Right, really I remember playing once against an idle player. My hero was like 1-2-2.
Mm-hmm.
He lost, basically, because he didn't have a base anymore, and he had like a level 9 DK.
Oh, nasty.
DH, sorry.
I was good. If it's that level, yeah.
It must have been so painful for that Night Elf player. I mean, I know I would lose all the nerves if I lost that game.
We see lots of anti-magic shell. That's a really good counter so far.
Yeah, and this anti-magic shell has a pretty long duration, so he can afford to keep on casting them. Plus, he has a statue to fill that mana up on those banshees, and they're practically full on mana. Or halfway down. They still have a lot of casting in them.
Tell you what I like is I'm seeing the banish bolt action, and I've seen that a couple of times on the fiends. But I assume that they had anti-magic shell when they got hit by it, so they only lost like 50 health. Sitting there in banish form with like 50 health lost. 500 health earlier on in the game when he was doing banish bolt versus these fiends.
That magic shell, it just reduces so much damage. It makes me wonder why on this god-given earth do we almost never see them in pro matchups of whatsoever. Like it's like they're obsolete or something like that. I can't remember the last time I've seen them.
It's underrated, definitely underrated. But I guess it's one of those things where Crypt Fiends are so strong alongside the other undead like statues, destroyers, that all the food is dedicated to that. So unless you're facing something very specific that does like huge amounts of magic damage, most people can find an excuse not to get it.
There's a chopper passing by my house as we speak. I mean, what are the odds of that? But in any case,
it's a sign.
Right.
So what, you live at Yumiko's expansion, do you?
Yumiko expansion is in danger of going down. These two tanks, they will probably go down, but not before significant damage is inflicted. I mean, he's losing acolytes, he's gonna start losing those fiends, but no, Yumiko decides to opt out. He gets the hell out of there. Use that avatar as well. Now it's just gonna sit in his base and do pretty much nothing there. Paladin is still level 1. This is just so sad to watch.
At least the avatar looks cool. He's got that going for him.
Right. And now that he has choppers, now the sorceresses are in play, because destroyers can no longer pretty much exist if he has a sufficient amount of choppers. But no, he's just continuing the tank production. He just has one chopper. That sorceress is just going to serve as food to those destroyers practically.
Now, one of the things I like here is that his foe's so concerned with his Lich that he's left the Belt of Giant Strength +6 on it. That's partly because the Death Knight's not really considered a DPS hero, so even if he did actually have the extra strength and therefore the extra damage, he's still inadequate when it comes to DPSing. But it's that important to keep the Lich alive that he'll keep the strength. That's basically going to be way more.
It's not just the Belt of Strength, he also gave him the Circlet of Nobility. That Lich is pretty high on HP considering that it's a Lich. I mean, he has almost a 1000 health on him.
Yeah. And the anti-magic shell alongside frost armor could also help him out.
The Mountain King that is actually considered to be a tanky hero, he only has 200 health more. That's about it.
He's level 6 as well.
Yes, and he's a whole level higher.
I love this invisibility play, by the way. I'm just loving that. I think that's super underrated as well.
Yeah, but he's not going to be able to do much because there's a shade tailing him.
It's the effort that counts.
This would probably devastate somebody like me. I mean, I would never think of that shade. Just follow the Mountain King around.
Well, that's it. I mean, when people start throwing that stuff at you, you just panic because then you have to think of so much other things that you have to then get to counter it. It's just not part of the normal play, is it? So then when someone starts chucking that at you, it becomes a lot harder.
These players don't seem to have a problem with it at all. Yumiko has managed to mine out his expansion, to mine out his main, and he's now mining off his third expansion, and it's down to 7.5k.
This is the problem with him burning through those expansions too early, is foe's still got plenty of time. But the question is that doesn't necessarily mean, well, it's not so much a question, it doesn't necessarily mean that he's guaranteed got this second expansion spot on the right-hand side.
Yeah, if this game doesn't end pretty soon, I have a feeling that Yumiko will need to either prevent Th000 from taking this expansion or take it himself. Otherwise, he's just going to lose the game.
See more fiends being built, so it's going back to the old school tier 1.5 units.
Yeah, taking a bit of DPS, putting a bit of DPS into his army.
Yeah, he's got a lot of banshees.
That's not going to help him versus those siege engines. And look at how many Yumiko has up in its first expansion. I mean, 6 siege engines, and there are 2 more on the way. I wonder if he's just going to send them into the main of 2 and take down the majority of his buildings here. If this works out, he could pretty much seal the deal for this game.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Foe's actually spotted this yet. I don't think he's taken the shade up there, because Yumiko actually has the ability to detect invisible units on his towers, so that makes it a bit trickier.
Yeah,
but
he could sacrifice a shade, but I don't think that he even suspects that anything fishy is going on here.
Do you think that Paladin's ever going to get level 2?
At the end of the game, probably yes. You can just... When we show the scores, the overview, you're just going to see a Paladin level 2, but nobody's going to figure out how he got there.
Yeah, it's just by magic.
And yeah, there we go. Banshee just going down to a Banish Bolt combo. Nothing you can do about it. He just TP'd out of there. Not TP, he used the Staff of Teleportation.
It's that awkward...
the Blood Mage out as well.
That awkward stalemate situation where almost everything's on the line. Both players have a lot of units. They've definitely probably got high food counts, but they're still playing it as though there's pretty much only heroes left, which is really interesting to see.
Yeah, they're playing very conservative, but look at this, at Yumiko's expansion. Just look at the number of those siege engines. This is ridiculous. He's just massing them up. I'm surprised that they're just 1-0, that he didn't go for any other upgrades on them.
He's currently sitting at 78 food, so he might start working on upgrades soon.
Yeah, maybe he's worried about the amount of resources that he has. His gold mine is down to almost 6k.
Yeah.
And he can see two trying to expand here. If this succeeds, he stands to lose this game pretty badly unless he can score a major victory in the field. And now two sees all of these siege engines going down towards his base. Will he be able to stop this?
Two griffins just getting picked off on the right-hand side. They went the wrong way, that's for sure. They went left, got caught by the Nerubian Tower and the
This is going to give so much XP to those heroes. We have 2 5s and 1 3. While on the other hand, we have 6 4 and Paladin is nowhere to be seen. Paladin is here.
Paladin doesn't even matter anymore. I don't care about him until he gets level 2.
Right, he's not that important. He's not important to commentate about. But in any case, we have the siege engines now wreaking havoc in 2's main base. He seems to be opting for the main. He wants to take that black citadel down, and there's even a cloud to stop that Nerubian Tower from slowing down these siege engines completely.
That is nice, to be honest. That's the next level of play, really. There, it's something simple, but at the same time, it's something I wouldn't think about doing.
And just look at the first expansion of 2. Yumiko is even harassing that, forcing his army there, while the main got taken down, and now these buildings are just gonna take a huge beating.
It's really hard for the undead in this position because he's got so many units that he has to build like the meat wagons. They're basically useless against everything else except siege tanks.
Right.
But he can't really comfortably move around with them. He has to keep his army nearby them, otherwise they're super vulnerable to the harassing griffins and such.
And this is just ridiculous. I mean, Yumiko doing a 3-front attack. He even attacked the 3rd attempt at an expansion on the far right, and he managed to take it down as well.
Only 2,800 gold left on Foe's natural expansion. So he really does need to keep hold of this right-hand expansion, otherwise he's going to find himself in a lot of difficulties.
Especially because his main base is completely open. There are only 4 buildings, soon to be 3, and those siege engines are moving towards that expansion. It is in danger of going down, but there are meat wagons, there are units there. They are doing some serious damage, but will he be able to sustain this expansion versus all this damage that is coming in?
So he got 3 acolytes left to heal, but those team tanks are going down quite fast here at the moment. The Lich is focusing pretty heavily on the Avatar, Mountain King.
The Lich should be supporting the meat wagons to reduce the armor on those siege engines, but no, instead he opted for the Avatar that he's not going to take down anytime soon. Maybe he just wanted to force a TP or something.
Yeah, or you couldn't get him into position easily enough. There was a lot to be concerned about there, so there might be the slight misplay there.
And after this 3-front attack, 2 is pretty much in ruins. Just look, he does have his army. The army is pretty intact, but what does he really have in his army? He just has banshees, some fiends. They're not something that Yumiko cannot deal with. They're not the units that you can assault Yumiko's bases with due to all these towers. You need those meat wagons, but your bases are in ruins. You no longer have the ability to rebuild.
This is it. I mean, there's such awkward units to play around with at this stage of the game, especially when he's having to split with his Death Knight and Lich and make sure that those units don't get picked off by something. Because when you've got a Mountain King and a frickin' Blood Mage, and maybe a Paladin, if we're going to maybe mention him, going invisible all the time and harassing, it's like, oh, I just lost another Banshee. Oh, I just lost another Banshee. That could be happening. Oh, here we go, actually in the middle, speaking of that.
I just want you to have a look at Paladin's experience. He's 1 XP away from level 2.
Where is he? Ah, at the top. Yep. 1 experience away.
1 XP.
He didn't get any of there. Mountain King and the Blood Mage stole all of that because he was too far away.
And now this is a very dangerous situation for 2. His meat wagons are getting attacked. If he manages to take down even one of those, this is going to be a successful attack. But no, he opts to staff those siege engines out and TP himself out.
I like how Yumiko is showing us just how powerful Staff of Teleportation and Staff of Sanctuary is, alongside the Mountain King and the Blood Mage. Just those 2 heroes and those items combined.
The thing is, that staff actually heals mechanical units as well.
Yeah, it does actually. It's a good point. It's pretty crazy. I mean, it's 250 gold. It is tier 3, but having said that, if you use it on even just 1 steam tank, you've basically paid for yourself.
Right.
So it's great in that sense.
And Th000 now stuck in his base here. He has 2.2k gold left, practically no buildings. He's trying to rebuild, but I just don't see this working. Look at his food deficit. He's 63 over 30. He can't even build anything.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Yumiko's at 64 food, but he's got at least another 30 food he could build. Not that I think he's going to try it with just that one gold mine that's about to run out.
Yeah, I don't think he has the ability to do so. The high upkeep would simply destroy his resources, as he only has one gold mine that is available, and to expand here, it's not really a viable option. There's this necropolis here, and the proximity of the undead army also makes it pretty much impossible.
Not sure what unit just lost there. I think it's a meat wagon, possibly?
There were 3 meat wagons. How many of them I don't know?
Well, I think one went down. No. Maybe it wasn't a meat wagon. It feels like foes definitely lost some units, though. So I'm not sure what it was.
I have a feeling you should really get at least one orb for this Mountain King. That would do wonders against those destroyers.
I was thinking that. I mean, Orb of Fire is, quite well known as the worst orb. But in this sort of situation...
Yeah, he would even have a bash proc on those destroyers. So that means he would be able to stun them.
Yeah, that's a very good point as well. Bash is just... It basically surpasses everything, doesn't it, Bash? It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, if it procs.
Yeah. But level 6 Mountain King, that's potentially level 3. I assume he didn't get any Thunderclap, so we're going to have... No, it'd be level 2 Bash, wouldn't it? So level 3 Stormbolt, level 2 Bash and a Avatar.
He's almost halfway to level 7, so we're going to see a level 3 Bash very soon. But look at the amount of tanks that Yumiko is massing up again. He's planning on taking on this base and destroying whatever is left here. But this time he's at a disadvantage because Th000 doesn't have 3 bases. He doesn't need to split his army. He can have this entire army just sitting in one place, and from that's going to give him extremely favorable conditions to defend it.
I like these destroyers being used by foe, just consistently sort of scouting around the map.
Yeah, pretty much like the chopper, the flying machine that Yumiko is using. That destroyer is chasing it now, but no way, that flying machine is way faster.
Foe just lost another fiend there, unfortunately, to the Bolt and Banish. It's one of these things where he needs to be like super quick, and there's so much going on in this game. It's so hard to be, especially at this point. These players have been playing for a long time now, so the pressure's really building up. And just casting one anti-magic shell on that fiend would have kept it alive.
Yeah, did he have enough mana though? Yes, he did.
But it's just one of those things where, you like the game goes on long enough, you get tired, you start making mistakes. Just little things like that can build up so much.
And you see he got only one sorceress, and he's just not doing this non-stop hit and run. He knows that it's extremely difficult for Th000 to rebuild anything due to, well, first of all, there was a food shortage. Second of all, he had no buildings that he had to rebuild. And yeah, the shade is revealing. Perhaps he shouldn't have engaged him that soon. He should have let him walk in closer and then started hitting him. But I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, if he was able to just maybe sort of pretend that he didn't see him, let him get a little bit closer, and then unleash hell.
Yeah, level 3 Nova and level 3 Death Coils certainly will do wonders. And notice how the Death Knight did not take his ultimate. He has a level 3 Death Coil and he has a level 3 Unholy Aura.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But he probably doesn't have any dead to raise. I mean, his units are long gone.
I agree with this player. I don't think Animate Dead has got to be one of the worst ultimates in the game. It's so situational, and it's... I mean, compare it to, like, Resurrection from Paladin.
Right. You get your units
what a difference. Back. Yeah, 6 units permanently back, or 6 units back for, I don't know, probably about 40 seconds. It feels like it's less than that. They literally come and then go within, like, no time. And all you have to do is run away from them, if you can, and that's it. Also, you were saying earlier about the tanks. I think they've got a bit out of control.
This looks like a... Well, I do not know what this looks like. I mean, there are... I cannot even count these tanks. 6, 9...
It looks like there's 6 flanking into the right-hand side, and about 5 coming in from the middle.
This choke point. Why are you sending them there? God!
It's distracting because of the tanks on the side. Look at the tanks. Here they go on the right-hand side. They've snuck by.
Yes, we have 4 tanks there, and 2 doesn't have anything to stop them with. He's not going to be able to repair this through. He's just doing it now. But those tanks were already in the position, and they are firing. They just need to keep on firing for a bit longer.
We're going to see other tanks maybe going towards his natural expansion.
Down.
Yeah. You got the other tanks heading towards there, whilst his army and heroes are heading towards to deal with the undead army right over here.
All he doesn't need to score a victory versus this army. He just needs to hold it in place for long enough, and all of these buildings will be gone.
This is why siege tanks are the most overpowered unit in the game.
I mean,
100%.
This is ridiculous. He didn't do anything. He just kept on sitting in his base and building siege engines. That's about it.
When it gets to this stage, that's all you need, baby. By the way, guess who got level 2?
The Paladin? Are you serious?
It really happened. He finally decided to step out of that expansion and do something this game.
Right. He is level 2. Oh, and he actually casted a Holy Light.
Don't leave that cigarette. Where are you going? The siege tank's like, there we go.
It goes down. Where's the last building? The last building is actually this gold mine.
Yep, that's all he's got left. Oh dear. Well, now there's a cigarette, but...
Now he's putting up a block here, a physical block. It's a good thing that the tanks cannot attack units, because if they could attack units, that would be... Nobody would do anything else but a human. They would just build tanks.
In this situation, it does look like foe possibly stands a chance, only because this is the last gold mine. If you know what I mean. If he was able to somehow whittle down the human units, but we haven't really seen that from him. He doesn't look like he's ever been in a position, because Yumiko's just been consistently like invisible in his, I know that's not a real word, but you know, his Mountain King, his Blood Mage, and just keeping so much pressure on, it's hard for foe to step away.
All he needs to do in this game is endure pretty much. If he lasts long enough for Yumiko to lose enough units, he pretty much won the game.
Yeah, the interesting thing is that he doesn't technically know how much resources his opponent has. He can make an assumption, but
look at this. Look at this militia coming in. Yumiko completely committing to this. Not sure if this is that good of an idea.
Oh, he's all in, baby. All in.
And these tanks, what are they doing? They're gonna get dropped in the base. There are 2 tanks already in the base.
Anti-magic shell on the acolytes as well to make sure he can repair. That's brilliant.
Right, but they're gone. The building is gone. The forward buildings are gonna get destroyed as well.
One crypt left.
He used his entire militia force just to provide the distraction.
Ah, that's what they're there for.
The lost lives there.
Yeah, they're just peasants. Just peasants. Oh, he's rebuilt his gold mine.
To hold on, he builds this building, but it's gonna... No, it doesn't go down.
He's got to do his best to block these siege tanks, but here comes one, and there it is. Oh no!
Just too many.
Yikes! That was crazy.
Ah, that is just disgusting to watch. Seriously.
Yeah, we would need to confirm, by the way, the Paladin really did get level 2.
I am doing just that, and I'm looking at the hero score. It's 666.
The main thing.
664, 642.
Yeah.
And there's only 1 hero kill in the whole game.
It's fascinating though, because Yumiko, it felt like he was getting away with more, getting more kills, yet more of the experience has gone towards foe overall, as you can see.
The score says Yumiko scored 1 hero kill, that's it.
Yeah.
These heroes didn't die the whole game.
You only got 8,000 more gold, but that is still a lot. Gold lost to upkeep is considerably more though, so it's like 4,000 more gold overall for Yumiko. So it goes to show, doesn't it? Oh, that's a brilliant game.
Yeah, a bit long though, but thanks in the end. They just sealed the deal, no problems. But in any case, I'd like to use this opportunity to thank you for casting with me.
It's alright.
And I hope that I'll have time in the future to cast, download more videos, but my work is pressing down on me, so I'll see what I can do.
I noticed you already got some replays up on your YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/ChronicLackofCare 69. Right. Don't forget the 69.
The name describes my purpose in life.
Yeah, I heard. What is exactly the reason for that? Why are you a chronic lack of care? Why would you say that about yourself?
I don't know. I come from Bosnia, and people around this place, they suffer from a chronic lack of care in general.
I see. And what's the 69 for then?
I figured it would be a proper thing to call myself. I mean, just
just came out of the blue.
Alright. Well, you haven't explained the last bit, but I might let you off that.
Yeah, the 69, that I don't really feel comfortable explaining that now.
Okay, no worries. Alright then, well thank you very much for casting alongside me. It's been a lot of fun, a really good game for us to both cast. So there you go. The description the links to the replay and Chronic's, I'm going to call you Chronic this time, not the whole thing.
Feel free.
Chronic's YouTube channel will be in the video description on mine, and are you uploading to your channel as well? So you can people can go see it there as well if they want to. See
I
it
also
your
have pretty much the same links in my replay, so no problems. If you watch it on Witty's channel, you're going to be able to see his face there.
I think people must be getting sick of my face by now. I would be. I've lived with it for this long, so yeah, I would know. Alright, thanks again for doing this. This is actually really good. I really enjoyed this, so thanks again. And thanks everyone for watching. Subscribe, like and comment on both channels. Make sure you do that. He's obviously doing a lot of new casts and stuff like that, so if you enjoy the replays and you want to see more of them, then you know where to go. Anyway,
Right.
I'm going to say thank you everyone for watching, and I don't know if you want to say anything else.
Till next time.
Till next time. Alright then. See you later. Bye bye.